Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another week of racing. Yes, round 16 at the lovely Hungarian Grand Prix with Division 1. And we're back to normal. We're back to short qualifying and a 50% race. So no more endurance races around Imola. Imola is done and dusted. And we've got a very interesting track. Obviously, very difficult to overtake. It is all about qualifying here. That is probably the main thing that everyone's going to be looking at tonight. But joined by the man in the comms box, yet again, it is the man, the other known as Andy Owen. Welcome back, my friend.
Yeah, thank you very much, SJ. Looking forward to this one. I do like myself a Hungaroring weekend. Back to normal stuff, of course, in terms of short quality and 50% race. So no long enduring races to contend with, but really looking forward to seeing how these guys tackle this track because like you've said, and somebody's already mentioned in the chat, it's Monaco without the walls. And if it's Monaco without the walls, that means in theory, there should be less opportunities to pass. All about that home straight with the one DRS zone here, but also an opportunity from turns 11 down to 12 as we go back down the hill towards the middle of Sector 3. That's another opportunity to pass. And these guys, I think some of them will take it, SJ.
Yes, they will. It's gonna be a very, very interesting night, and let's go over to the paddock and let's see who we've got in there tonight. So a very interesting grid tonight. Obviously, a bit disappointing all of the attendance there for you. No shows, unfortunately, which is obviously hurting the teams. Obviously, no RBs at all. Unfortunately, so racing bulls, no one on the grid there. So lack of communication there from the TP, unfortunately. But it is what it is. You can't help it. But the guys that have turned up, we've obviously got some newcomers, and we've been trying to get these guys on the grid for a period of time, and we've actually got the guys on the grid now, which is really good to see. So Alpha Gully reserving tonight for the man of Left 4 Dead. Obviously not here tonight, and he is in the McLaren in that P2 position at the moment. We've also got Campbell Adams there tonight. Aidan Riziums, Chandler's on his own, Wolf tonight. We've also got both the Hasses and Josh and Aidan back, obviously both away last week. We've got Keithy in the kick. We've got AMS Unfound, a new driver as well, so welcome to Rush. My friend, join the family. We've got ETA Azam. Probably know him from PSGL and other leagues like WRR as well. So welcome to the family also. We've got Naples in the other kick Sauber as well. We've then got Sammy in the Alpine. We've then got Sir Joshi in the Red Bull. This is his third race and he's been on absolute flying form at the moment. We've then also got F1 in Z. In the Williams, and then we've got Benjamin Cam in 16th position on intermediate tyres. The stewards will definitely be looking at that, Andy.
It's okay. He's gone and slapped on a set of softs. He didn't set a time, so he's out. He's on his out lap now with a set of softs. So just a quick note: Big Ash returning to watch Rush Racing League for the first time in a while. Welcome back, Sammy Slammer. Is in as well. Hado, Piastri, and Mr. GT Elite correcting me. Thank you very much, sir. There are 2 DRS zones. I should have been a little bit clearer. There is one DRS detection point, which gives you a double dose of DRS from turn 14 down to turn 1. And then, of course, from turn 1/2 down towards turn 3. So you are correct, sir. Thank you for your attention. I'm glad to see that you're listening and spotted the obvious mistake.
Yeah, it's actually great to have him in the comments, mate. Big Ash, mate, hope you're great. Hope you're having fun. And really, really good to hear from you, mate. Hope things are well. We miss you, mate. And obviously waiting for the time. Just to let you know, Big Ash, mate, there is pending on the Div 6. So if you do want to make a comeback and you feel that you're even slower than you were before, then feel free to jump on board. No dig, no dig intended there. But let's have a look. We've obviously got some really, really good guys on there tonight. Some really, really quick guys as well, and we've got some quick times as well. Campbell Adams doing 1:13.545, setting the pedigree at the moment at the top. Then we've got F1NZ in P2 there with a 1:13.972, and Sir Joshi there with a 1:13.974. Can this man be beaten tonight? That's the question, Andy. Can he be beaten?
Well, like you said, it's so important in qualification here in Budapest. Campbell Adams has been throwing down some incredibly quick practice times. A 13.5 as a banker is pretty insane. The two Williams boys in Azam and Finns, and Sir Joshi as well, into the 13s too. I'm expecting a pretty tight grid, but how close can the rest of the pack get to the flying McLaren of Campbell Adams? That is the question.
Yeah, that is the question. Then Liam 201099, mate. Hello, mate. Welcome this afternoon to Hungary, round 16 of Rush Racing League Division 1. I hope you enjoy yourself, mate. If you are on board, feel free to get on board the Discord, get on board the socials, and enjoy yourself tonight. But first of all, who do we jump on board with, Andy? Who do we jump on board for a fly lap? We've got Alpha Gully, Tai, or Chandler's. Give me a name.
Just looking at... Oh, they've both going into the pit lane. Let's go with Chandler's. He's the first one on the list, it looks like. The only Ferrari we've got. He's just coming around the final turn right now.
All right, over to you, my friend.
Okie dokie then. Right, the trip around the Hungaroring, starting off this lap. This is the first of our two DRS sons. Thank you very much for the query. On the inside of turn 1 he goes then. Activates it, gets all out of shape. As soon as he activates the DRS on his way down towards turn number 3. So that's going to have compromised him. He's going to have lost a couple of tenths straight away there. Important to use as much of some of these curbs as possible. As you come up to, this is a car killer right here. This fast turn just about manages to keep it valid. The long right-hander up towards one of the slowest parts of the track in the chicane. Navigates the chicane pretty well, quite deep into the first section of that, which compromised his exit into the second part. On the journey then, just about manages to keep the lap valid as we head off towards turn number 11 here then. Plenty of curb on the entry and exit, down the hill towards turn 12. One of the only places you can actually get an overtake done. And then into the hairpin. Pretty short lap here, one of the shortest tracks we've got on the calendar. Into that final turn number 14, hugging the inside, then releasing on the exit towards the line. It's going to be a mid-14s. It's a late 14s. It's a 14.8 and not much improvement from the Ferrari. If any, I think he was actually a couple of hundred slower, SJ. So he'll be wanting to get himself back into that pit lane, throw some fresh boots on and go again, I would have thought.
Yeah, definitely. It's 1:14.843. But before that happened, we also had a couple of tier subs there from Marzi. Appreciate the support, my friend. Great Lightning, Big Ash, GT Elite, Liam 2109, and Drive to Survive. And we've got an onboard view for one lap of GeForce Nick, so we will jump on board with him for his flyer when we get amongst it. So we'll just wait on board for the time being at the moment. Why are there only 16 cars? Well, unfortunately, Liam, a few of them obviously did not set their alarms, and some of the TPs didn't get the cars ready. So if we're going to be looking at the cars, we'd be looking at one of the Ferraris. That would obviously take us to 17, and then you've got the two RBs, which is 18, and then obviously one of them has a race band, so that would have been 19. And the other one that we are missing... I'm just trying to work out who the other one is.
Alpine.
Yeah, the other one is the Alpine. So that's the reasons why. Viper with a race band, yes, correct. And also one Alpine and two RBs. And then we would have had Marine Team. So yeah, it is unfortunate, but it is what it is. But the 16 guys that here, they're all racing. And obviously, we heard last week that McLaren have taken away constructors already in Division 1. So congratulations to them. They've done it very, very early on, which is massive. But obviously, the the title is still up for grabs. Obviously, Campbell Adams leading at the moment, 115-point gap to the man in that Williams, who is in P4 at the moment, F1NZ. And hopefully he'll be working with his teammate of ETA Azam tonight. Hopefully they'll be in the comms together. You never know. It could be. They may not. We'll have to wait and see. We will be jumping on board with Wog Boy for a flying lap again. So keep an eye out on that out lap at the moment. But at the moment, Alpha Gully, 113.567, not far off there from Campbell Adams. It's pretty close between the top two. And it's two McLarens there again, Andy.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of teams flying in formation as you look throughout the standings here. 2 McLarens, 2 Williams. We've got 2 Aston Martins and 2 Haas. And the Kick Saubers aren't too far from each other either. So plenty of teams flying in formation, but the 2 constructors that are at the top of the standings in the McLarens and Williams, they're the ones that are setting the pace tonight, alongside Sir Joshi, of course, who's... Joshi and F1NZ not yet done their next runs yet. Still 2,000ths apart in 4th and 5th. But yeah, real close between the 2 McLarens. That is real interesting because that will add an extra dynamic. If it finishes like this, it'll add an extra dynamic to the race. With Alpha Gully, of course, sat as that little champagne cork protecting his teammate who's vying for that Drivers' Championship.
Well, yeah, and I'm just going to do a little prediction, which I don't normally do in qualifying. So I'm going to put a little prediction there. 2 minutes to go. Who's going to take pole in this qualifying? Well, there we go. We've got Campbell Adams, Alpha Gully, or ETA Azam. They are your 3 votes, so get amongst it. And you've got 1 minute and 43 seconds to go, so get amongst it, and we'll see what happens at the moment. Alpha Gully, 10,000 straight on Alpha Gully there, who is on an outlap as well. Campbell, obviously people are saying Campbell. Well, get your votes in, and we'll have to see what happens. We are going to jump on board with Alpha Gully for a flying lap, so I'm going to take this away, and then we'll jump on board with G-Force Wog. So here we go, going on to Alpha Gully, on to his last, could be his last lap, we'll have to wait and see, going down into the first corner. How does he take it? As you can see, there's 60% on the ERS, very nicely there. Then gets onto the DRS there. Obviously 2 parts of the DRS very early on in the Hungarian Grand Prix as well. So we'll have to wait and see what happens later on through his lap. But as we are at the moment, really riding the curves, nicely done there. 35% of the ERS getting up. The uphill elevation in Hungary is all over the place. So we'll have to wait and see. They're keeping it very, very nicely there within track limits. And coming into the lovely chicane here. All gets a little bit wide out there, a little bit. And you've got to be so careful not riding the curves here. Looking so far, so good. Getting onto the curves, keeping within those track limits. Is he up or down on his time at the moment? He is really pushing that car. He's actually down on his time. Unfortunately, he's not improving. Will improve in the last couple of corners as he comes into the lovely left hairpin in sector 3. And here we go, going into the pits. Not happy with that lap at all, Andy. And as you can tell, my voice is a little bit croaky tonight. I do apologise.
The enthusiasm of shouting at pretend Formula One cars is done for you.
I'm actually not very well.
Oh, well, you're not.
Didn't.
Oh, I feel sorry for you. I've got my violin out and everything. Right, Chandler's the only car out on track on a hot lap right now, and he's gone through the chicane. He's fictionally up, 400ths up through sector 1. On his way down towards another potential overtaking zone on this Hungarian track in the capital Budapest, down the hill towards turn number 12. And he's now 2/10ths up. So that would maneuver him only up 1 position at the moment. So he's going to need a little bit of track evolution to help him out here in sector 3. You'd like to think the grip would be a little bit more sticky, let's say, now that we've had 16 minutes of this session. So can he get an extra couple of tenths? He can. He moves himself up into P11 with a 14.4 300ths behind the Aston Martin of Micromash. So a good improvement there from Chandler's, 4 tenths.
Yeah, no, pretty good, pretty improvement there. Obviously down there in P11, we saw obviously him and Micromash come together last week in Imola, and they're both on the different teams now, so there could be a little bit of drama awaiting there. Alpha Gully is out again, so is
Mm,
Asm. Everyone is out from P1 down to P7, and the track is absolutely booming with so many people out. So this will be the last ditch to go, and it is so close between Campbell Adams and his teammate of Alpha Gully tonight. Sammy, though, has done pretty well there with a 113.723 as well. I'm very, very close.
yeah.
And look how close it is between the top six. There's hardly anything in it at the moment, but we will be jumping on board with WOG for a full lap of the quality due to the on-board request from the Mercedes TP of Dynasty Sparrow. So here we go. Going to get on board with WOG. Good to see him back on the track and racing again. Season 2 champion, actually. So over on board with WOG. And I'll let you take this one away.
With who?
WOG boy, G-Force Nick, P7.
Oh, G-Force Nick, there you go. Right then, G-Force Nick in that Mercedes down towards turn 1, currently sat in 7th with a 14.2. Can G-Force Nick get himself into the 113s and challenge the front few rows on this incredibly pacey grid we've got here then? End of Sector 1 upcoming. Let's see how Sector 1's been. Again, I talked about track evolution on the last run we were watching, and it's over a 10th, almost a 10th and a half up for G-Force Nick. So needs one more attempt to get himself into the 13s, and then it's all up for grabs in Sector 3 as we head into the chicane. Seems to tackle the chicane pretty well, the best I've seen so far this evening. But then we're into this long, windy section of Sector 2 up towards turn 11, the tight turn 11, where you can carry so much speed. Then down the hill, that's the clock done, and he's lost some time in the middle sector. So he's going to have a great Sector 3, utilising the rubber that's been put down on the track to extend the grip as he heads towards the final turn. Hugging the inside as we do, as Campbell Adams improves to a 13.3. What can we see from G-Force Nick? Does improve, but not by enough to get into the 13s. It's a 14 flat for the Mercedes man.
Yeah, no, great time there. It's also AMS Unfan is unfortunately invalidated. We've also got Gully at the moment. Is Gully going to be able to knock his teammate off the pedigree at the top, who has been on absolutely fine form at the moment? Here's Alpha Gully. What's he going to go? Going to cross the line. 1, 3, 5, 13, 5, 6, 4. What about ETA Azam? Is he going to improve as well? Who else have we got at the moment? We're going over to the Red Bull of Bajman. He's up on his time there, and he will be pushing himself a little bit further up. So how far is he going to go up through the pack? He goes up into P10. We've also got the Kick Sauber, which looks like they're done as well, into the pits. We've also got, looks like an Alpine of Sammy. He was really, really quick earlier on. Is he going to be even quick earlier today? Goes into P6. Then we've got Azam that's gone into the pit, stays P3. And that is your lot. So Campbell Adams again taking out the P1. So if you have voted for Campbell Adams in your prediction, then you would have got that correct. Alpha Gully unfortunately losing you 10,000 points. So Campbell will take pole position, Andy.
Pay me those points, baby. Pay me those points.
Did you vote?
I did vote, yeah. I thought I'd give a little vote out.
Shaky old devil.
I'd give a little vote out. Yeah, no. Gotta use those channel points. You gotta use those channel points.
12k goes to the man, the myth, the legend, Andy Allen. Well done, Andy. But
Beautifully done.
Yeah, great quality though. Really, really good quality. We saw Campbell obviously push it out a little bit more further there and improve on his time. As you can see there, going out the classification results now, Campbell Adams taking out a 113.359, 2.5 tenths quicker than his teammate of Alpha Gully there with a 113.564. ETA Asma as well, 13.622. Funniest thing about it as well, two of the guys that have jumped in and joined Rush Racing League and joined the family are in P2 and P3. That just shows you that it's going to be a very good race between the top three. And is Campbell Adams going to have his work cut out with these two behind him as well? And they've also got Sir Joshi in that P4 as well.
Yeah, ETA Azam, WR driver, tier 2 in the console division, I believe. He was running away with the tier 3 title some time ago. and got moved up into Division 2, I believe. So yeah, he's got some pace.
Yes, I remember him because we spoke to him. We commentated him together in WR, if you remember.
Yes,
So
we
him
did.
remember because his teammate was ET8 Paul.
Yep, that's right.
Yep, see, got a good memory. Is Campbell going to do it again tonight, Andy? Or is there going to be more? Is it? Are McLaren going to have some problems? They've got serious. Obviously, two guys on there tonight. Obviously, Alpha Gully and Campbell Adams, but yeah, it's a long track. It's 30. It's a long race, 35 laps. It's going to be difficult, isn't it? Not many places to overtake.
Yeah, it is going to be quite difficult. I think, again, leading into turn one is going to be beneficial, but with a new driver on the grid in Alpha Gully, it may well shake things up. I'm not too sure that they'll have had much chance to operate together to speak about strategy, but away you go.
All right, we've got 5 red lights going up and away at round 16 of the Hungarian Grand Prix. And there is a drive-through for Sammy already. That is not the start he wants. So Joshi apparently has gone from P1, and I have no idea what's happened there. There's a little bit of a glitch problem at the moment that will probably change around in a couple of seconds there. But at the moment, Campbell Adams is leading the way with Alpha Gully in P2 and also ETA in P3. So it will change very, very shortly. We will see it start to change at the moment. We'll go onto some tyres very, very quickly. Everyone's on the mediums. Everyone getting through. 16 drivers getting through. Really, really good to see. And there you go. It goes back to normal. So Campbell Adams in P1, ETA in P2, Alpha Gully in P3, Aiden in P4, Sir Joshi in P5 and P6 battling F1NZ going into the chicane here. Very nicely done. All the Red Bull move makes a bit of a mistake there. Has to be extremely careful. Does do well, but drops himself down all the way down to P7. Aiden Rhythms up into P4 on the tails of Alpha Gully. ETA Azamo right on the back of Campbell Adams at the moment. Further back down, we then got G4 Stick in P8, Josh in P9, Chalmers in P10, Sammy in P11 after having that drive through. That's not the start that he wanted. They got Benjamin Cam there in P12, Mike Garash in P13, 14, AMS Unfounded going around the outside of the Aston Martin of Micro Mash at the moment. Battles going on already. Love to see it. Naples and Keefe in P15 and P16 in the Kick Sauber. So a bit of drama going on already, and Sammy already in serving that drive through. But a good start there for ETA and Aiden Rhythms.
Yeah, real good start from those boys, and also a good start from the Ferrari of Chandler's, up 3 positions. Just as I say that, up 2 positions now into P11. 2 positions also for Josh Rizoflin. 2 positions up for Spry Naples. Obviously, the big loser so far is Sammy having to do the drive-through, but also Sir Joshi losing 4 stints off the line, down in P8 now after starting up in P4.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one here, isn't it? Obviously on strategy, everyone going on the mediums, no one going on the hard compound tyres. Obviously the track, obviously conditions looking a little bit dull out there as well, so we could have some rain. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. First it was a tyre glitch, now people are already a lap behind on lap 1. Interesting. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. We'll just continue for the time being. Should change the start of next lap. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But we know where they are. They're in P8 and P9 currently at the moment when Campbell goes over the line. Let's have a look. See if it does change. Hopefully it does change up at the moment. But Campbell leading the way. One in the McLaren and the other one in P3 in the McLaren as well. But yeah, everyone pretty close together. ETA flying very, very closely there. Got a lot of the ERS. And there you go. It is completely changed. And we should be all good. But Sir Joshi and G4 Nick going at it at the moment. But a really, really good start for the McLaren team so far. Lap 3 out of 35.
Yeah, it really is a good getaway from them, and also ETA Azam as well. We've got that mini DRS train now from P1 down to P6, then a 2-second gap now forming between Sir Joshi and the back of Tai Tai in the Aston Martin. So that's going to be a challenge for Sir Joshi now. It's allowed everybody else out in front to streak away, but also what that's going to do, because of the track, the nature of this circuit, it's going to hold everybody up behind Sir Joshi as well, or whoever's at the front of that that chasing pack. It's going to hold them up. And Sir Joshi's actually not too far away from breaking the DRS to G-Force Nick as well, so he can focus his energy on closing the gap out in front, SJ.
Yeah, definitely, but I'm just camping on board with Azam, and Azam is right on the tails of Campbell Adams at the moment. Lap 3 out of 35, he's going to get on with the DRS, and I think he's even going to get the move done. We'll have to wait and see here. He's burning a little bit of ERS, doesn't go for the job yet. Or does he go for the move now? No, he doesn't, just stays in behind. I think Campbell Adams has got his work cut out in this race at the moment, Andy, as Azam on his tails and a lot of ERS, staying within that 94%, and Campbell on 60, so feeling the pressure. But Campbell Adams does have the McLaren behind him, so if he is in the comms box with the McLaren driver, that will help him at the moment in a really, really good position. But both Williams and McLaren, fantastic in this race so far. ET8 in P2 and F1NZ in P4.
Yeah, and it does look like we might have somebody throwing down a challenge here to Campbell Adams. Both ETA Azam and Alpha Gully, the teammate of Campbell Adams, demonstrating some real good pace. Finn's just struggling to keep in contact here. He's just round about the 1 second mark behind Alpha Gully in that McLaren. So if he can just eke out a tenth to get himself back into the RS range, that'll allow him to stick around and be right on the back of the McLarens out in front now. I think, he's managed to just about do it. I think he's going to get his rear wing open. Yeah, he's got his rear wing open, so he's just about managed to get back in contention. He'll have DRS on that second run down the hill towards turn 3. So great start from these front 6 drivers. The gap between Joshi and Tai Tai, 7th to 6th. Still hovering around the 2 second mark as well. So things seem to have settled down quite nicely. Whoa, just as I say that, off goes Finn's at turn number 3, turn 3 or 4 there. And it is in the wall time for him. He's going to lose a couple of positions to both Aidan Riziums and Tai Tai. May well have picked up, he's picked up some wing damage. He's lost that right end plate is the words I'm looking for. So he's going to find himself being swallowed up by the rest of the pack now because he's lost out so much time from that incident at turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, no.
Fortunate.
Definitely. Obviously, Williams gone from P2 to P7 as well, and obviously the McLaren's in P1 and P3. Obviously, ET8 very, very closely to Campbell Adams at the moment, and doing pretty well so far, so good. Just jumping on and on board at the moment, and we will be finishing up very, very shortly there. So there you go. There's your on board. Mars, if we go further back down though, and the gap between P1 and P6 is okay. Everyone's pretty close. Tai pretty close to Aidan, and Aidan pretty close to Aidan's falling back a little bit. So we are starting to see the front 3 start to pull away a little bit. But at the moment, there is still a battle going on between Haas and Mercedes in the constructors at the moment, and the way that Haas are looking at, obviously both in front of the Mercedes as well. Obviously Mercedes down there in P11 and P14, and both Haas is in P4 and P8, so really good start by them so far at the moment. But Tai all over the back of Aidan Riziums at the moment, putting the pressure on as well, and it's good to see different drivers up the top again, and we've seen this in the last couple of weeks, haven't we, of the tracks that have been selected and coming up, but we're seeing different drivers start to improve on some of these tracks. Obviously, Aston Martin not having the best of seasons, but Tai doing a great job in that P5 position.
Yeah, really good job from him so far, keeping himself in touch with Aidan Riziums. Aidan Riziums now 2.7 seconds off the back of Alpha Gully. I think that the incident between Finns and himself, really, and that wall has caused everybody just to back off ever so slightly as we see a change of the lead of the race. ETA Azam overtaking Campbell Adams on the outside of turn 1, getting the job done, utilising that DRS and moving himself up to lead this Hungarian Grand Prix. Round 16 of this season here at Rush Racing League, and not many rounds to go. 6 rounds to go, is it?
Yes. Yeah, 21 and obviously 20 is the last one, and then obviously 21 is the mystery round as well. So, obviously the Canadian Grand Prix up for this one, obviously the sprint weekend as well. So that's going to be really, really good at the lovely Villeneuve circuit. But plenty of action. Obviously, you've got Division 2 and Division 4 tomorrow night here, and then obviously on Monday night, you've got Division 5, and then obviously on Wednesday night, you've got Division 3. Ooh, yes, a bit of a snap coming out the Sector 3 area there on the last couple of corners there. No, a lot of action going on, and obviously, I don't know if you've heard, Andy. Obviously, we're looking to run a Division 6 next season. So feel free if you've got a few guys who are a little bit slower and want to get into entry level, then feel free to get amongst it. But Rush looks like it's going for a 6th division.
Nice, 6 divisions demonstrates some wonderful growth. And you guys here at Rush always put on a fabulous show. It's a very well-run league, and we've got some pretty pacey drivers, but there's always room for some of the guys who are perhaps a little bit more like myself, who enjoy a nice little drive around tracks every now and again, not necessarily throwing down 13 threes at Hungary in qualification, but do enjoy sim racing and sim racing. I know it's been tough with the game cycle at present, but I think there's still room for sim racing to flourish, and there's no better place to flourish on a Saturday morning for me than Rush Racing League. ETA Addison, by the way, is struggling a little bit. He is on the verge, I'm sure, of picking up a 3-second penalty here. I've seen him go across those white lines on at least 2 occasions in the last 2 laps. So I'm sure he must have at least 2 warnings on him. I'm going to have a quick look at the race director. But, be interesting to see how we get on. He's only got one warning. So I'm absolutely amazed he's only got 1 warning, having seen where he's been the last couple of laps. But he's throwing down a challenge, SJ, and that's what we love to see.
Yeah, it is. It is. New drivers coming in. Really, really good to see. Obviously, putting it to the championship leader at the moment, which is probably what he wants as well. And obviously a few other new drivers as well getting amongst it as well. And so far so good. Obviously, I can't see at the moment with connection issues and everything looking pretty tickety-boo, which is good. Aiden Risms in P4. Really good to see him up that top there. Obviously getting back. Obviously, be very interesting to see how he goes into next season. He's had a few races out, so I think it's just capitalise on those points at the moment. He knows that Tai's got that penalty, so he's in pretty good position at the moment. So just making that mistake earlier on. Obviously, Pajman Cam as well. And the Red Bulls just seem to be like glued to each other at the moment, working very, very closely. And they've also got Josh Rizuligan there in P8 Anders there with that penalty as well. And he is followed very closely by a big traffic jam behind him. He's got G-Force Nick there in that P10 position. Micromesh there in P11. And he's then also got Sprine Apples and AMS Unfold is 7.5 tenths just behind Sprine Apples as well. So nice little DRS chain there starting to unfold, which is good to see as we've seen Chandler's come into the pits. I've done a race here, mediums can last up to 27 before hitting 70%. So interesting to hear that knowledge there from the TP of Haas at the moment. But Campbell Adams not making a move at the moment, just slowly, nicely following ETA Asm, saving up that ERS, 90% both of them now, and also Gully just staying them behind, burning a lot of the ERS. I don't know if he's burning it to keep within them, or if he's burning it to just have a bit of fun. We'll have to wait and see. There is Aiden and Tai. What's going on here? We've got Aiden in the car of Tai's car. So we'll have to wait and see what's happened there. Oh, as Tai loses it nearly, and nearly goes off the track, and that's going to bring into Joshi right on the back of Tai, and Bajman Cam followed by very, very closely by his teammate. But Josh followed very, very closely by there, and be interesting to see, is Aiden holding up Tai to get Josh to him? That's going to be the question, Andy.
I'm not entirely sure Aiden is doing much of holding up. I think he's just the unfortunate victim of the 3 cars just racing away out in front. The gap now 6.1 seconds between Aidan Riziums and Alpha Gully. These top three are showing different class this evening here in Rush Racing League in Div 1. People are starting to jump into the pit lane, by the way. So we've got people pitting. We've had Chandler's has pitted from mediums to mediums, which confuses me greatly. SFR Finns has been in the pit lane, and he's thrown on some mediums as well. He's gone medium to medium and had a front wing change, obviously, because he was really struggling. So interested to see Finn's jumping from medium to medium. I thought he might have thrown some hard tyres on and tried to take some hard tyres at the end, but maybe now he's just praying for that safety car as ETA Azam picks up that 3-second time penalty that I was talking about earlier on. He's made 2 further indiscretions when it comes to track limit warnings, and that is key and pivotal to not just this race, but also the Drivers' Championship, SJ.
Yeah, it is. And obviously Campbell will be licking his lips there. He knows, and he looks like he's even about to ready to pounce and get the move done going into lap 12 out of 35 at the moment. So gets the job there. Can Campbell make a mistake? Will ETA get back to in front? We'll have to wait and see there. As a will Alpha Gully cause a bit of a problem. We'll have to wait and see as well. But at the moment, it's game on for Campbell. He knows that he's got that 3-second buffer, but anything can happen. It's 12 laps out of 35. ETA could put him in a difficult position. We'll have to wait and see. There is 1, 2, 3 people having penalties at the moment as Tai and Aidan are going side by side, and Tai does get the job done, but goes very wide there, being very, very careful of track limits. But Tai is now out in front of Aidan, and Aidan's now dropped into P5, and also Josh is now into P7. So it's they're sandwiched right in the middle there by Bergman carrying that Red Bull.
Yeah, really good racing there from Tai and Aidan Riziums through turns 1, 2, 3, and 4. Took them all the way up to the car killer turn 6, but they managed to get through it unscathed on lap 12 of 35, over 1/3 race distance now here at the Hungaroring in Budapest. The gap 7.1 seconds then. Are we going to see some different type of strategy here to try and close that gap? And as I say that, Tai does dive into the pit lane, followed closely by Badgerman and Josh Rizoflin. ETA Azam and Campbell Adams exchanging positions once again through turn 2 into turn 3. The long left-hander that then releases up towards the hill, and the car killer turn 6. Plenty of cars jumping into the pit lane. So this stuff that was in the chat about mediums lasting to lap 24, people are ignoring that and pitting pretty early to throw on these hard compound tyres, SJ.
Yeah, going for that longer stint on the hard compound tyres as well. And as obviously we saw the 4 guys pit of Bajman, Josh, and Tai obviously trying to cover off each other as well. So that'll be an interesting one at the moment. But we'll have to wait and see. Just can't read some comments coming in. Fitz pit twice because he had a 10-second. I'll think about that kind of stuff next season. I'll just need a team for next season with that 6th div being put in. Unfortunately, McPastry, mate, you are not Division 6, so yeah, that won't be happening, my friend. Feel free to get back on board and get in that Division 2 and start competing against some of the guys in there, as Bevs is the one to watch out for at the moment. But the one to watch out for at the moment is Campbell Adams. He has taken the lead again, and it is a domino effect between him and Azam at the moment in that Williams. Azam is just not letting him out of his sights, but he does have that 3 seconds, and that'll be the one that hurts Azam currently. But Alpha Gully deciding to pit for the McLarens in that P5 position onto those hard compound tyres in P5 does get out in front of that traffic in front. That is well done by the McLaren of Alpha Gully, getting out in front of that traffic.
Yeah, that's really good, because what that allows him to do, that 6-second gap between himself and AMS unfound now, that will actually give some great data back to the pits if they're in a call together to let him know how quick those tyres are at this stage of this race. We can already see him beginning to haul that time in. It was 6.5 seconds when he came out. It's now down to 5.7. So those new hard tyres on the McLaren of Alpha Gully looking pretty quick at the moment, SJ.
Yes, Yes, it's going to be interesting. We're just looking at the gap between the lead. He's 21 seconds behind the leader at the moment, his own teammate. And also you've got Aiden is now just coming in as well. So we'll keep an eye out on that time. But Aiden is coming into the pits. Is he going to get the job done on Alpha Galley? Well, I don't think he is. Unfortunately, he's probably gone a little bit too later. And the problem is now Aiden is going to come out in front of all that traffic. Or we might just come behind that traffic. Yeah, because look at that. Oh, as Adam has left the session. So if you've got him as a friend, feel free to get him in. And this is not going to help him at all. He has left, and Campbell will be able to push on. And this hurts Azam at the moment. So, Andy, do you have him added by any chance?
I did add him. I'm going to be looking for him presently.
Aiden's actually got in front of Sammy Naples and F1NZ at the moment, so we'll have to wait and see. There is F1NZ not having the best of races down there with 13 laps on those mediums down in P16, out of the points currently at the moment. Azam 3.4 seconds, and well, there we go. He's coming into the pits, same as Campbell Adams at the moment, and we'll have to wait and see what happens here. AMS Unfold though, in that P3 position in that Merc on those 14 lap mediums, being followed very closely by Alpha Gully. Is Alpha Gully going to be able to take the lead of this Grand Prix? We'll have to wait and see here as Campbell Adams is now coming out of the pits. Alpha Gully coming down the main straight. Campbell Adams is now coming out. And Alpha Gully does take the lead there. Campbell Adams. Oh, does Joshua go around the outside? Does he get the job done? Oh, just there. Campbell Adams just gets out in front, and McLaren have timed that to perfection. And hopefully we can get Azam back in on the lobby. Is he? You got him?
Can't find him, mate.
Nah, I'll let him. I've got him. I know I have. There we go. There we go.
I don't think he's added me back.
I've sent him an invite. I've got him added. Okay, so GeForce Nick right behind Azam at the moment on those 5-lap hards. Ooh, Saito really late on the brakes there. Coming out there, and AMS Unfound getting a penalty, a 3-second time penalty as well. Few penalties coming up, and we can see, look at the pace of Tai at the moment behind GeForce there as well. Going to go for the move, even though Josh looks like he's going to go for a move, and Azam has joined. Hopefully he can take control of his car.
Josh goes a Haas.
Oh, that might be a little bit of an incident there. There'll be a one.
Yeah, no, I don't think. Didn't feel to me like it was on the Aston Martin. The Aston Martin was lacking room. As Josh Rizoflin went on the inside there at turn 12, it looked a little bit like an opportunity to do a push to pass from the Haas man. As Tai ended up going slightly off track, and we talk about off track. There he goes again, round at turn number 1 in all kinds of bother. There's definitely some cars with some debris there, and that's almost an unsafe rejoin. It was an unsafe rejoin. He came back on track. I would imagine that's Josh again. So he's managed to get himself an unsafe rejoin there, coming back on track, has lost his right end plate, and now he's going to be under pressure again at the car killer, as through goes Josh Rizoflin here on lap 17 of 35, coming together twice in the space of half a lap, the Haas and the Aston Martin, SJ.
Yeah, it's a little bit of onboard stewarding there, a little bit of drama going on, and we love to see it. Hopefully Azam is back in. We'll just keep an eye on that time, 2.2, 2.3. Hopefully he is back in the lobby. Let us know if you are not. It doesn't look like he is. I think he's going to be under extreme pressure at the moment. Just keeping an eye on him at the moment on those hard compound tyres. Azam, if you can't take control, and there you go. He's got the glitch. He's got the take control glitch. It's unfortunate. And it looks like he could have been a bit of an incident there with... He's going to leave and rejoin. Well, let's see what happens. He's left again. Let me know when he needs to invite Dido, and we'll try again one more time. Alpha Gully, though, leading the way at the moment, but doesn't look like for long, as Campbell Adams goes right around the outside, and job done. McLaren, P1, P2, Couldn't go any better for McLaren at the moment, Andy.
Yeah, super stuff. I would imagine there. I didn't quite catch it, but where he's overtaken there at turn, I think it's turn 8. Possibly not turn 8, possibly a little bit sooner than that. But I would imagine that Alpha Gully's probably let him through there. He's demonstrated some magnificent pace so far, and to get overtaken on that long right-hander after the car killer corner, I would imagine he's probably just let him through.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see as the prediction has come up. Will we see a safety car? The ETA has joined. Hopefully, he can take. He's in. He has joined back in. But at the moment, domination from the McLarens in P1, P2. So Joshi there in P3. Chandler's there in P4. Having a great job with Ferrari, obviously, early on. Qualifying struggled, but in the race doing a great job at the moment on those medium compound tyres. Will he be able to go to the end? That's going to be the question. Doesn't look like he will. Looks like he could. Comms curse the McLarens. No, I won't. Chandler's in that P4 position at the moment. As Sir Joshi gets a 3-second time penalty. And I was talking about him and he gets a penalty. And there you go. G-Force Nick, though, in that P5 position on 8 lap hards. Micro Mash in P6. And he gets to take over. My voice is hurting too much.
Yeah, you sound like you're struggling. Go get a drink of water, SJ, and I'll take over. Yeah, we're on with Micro Mash at the minute, so I'll just do a little bit of onboard action with Micro Mash while our intrepid leader goes and gets himself some water. Micro Mash here, 13.2 seconds off the lead. He's improved 6 places up the standings so far as E.T. Adam yet again leaves the session. On the hard tyre, Micro Mash, so as it currently stands, Chandler's is going to be under some pressure on some slower medium tyres towards the back end of this race, whereas everybody else, apart from Aiden and Tai, they're down towards the rear of the field, currently on the hard tyre, which, of course, as we know on this particular game cycle, is particularly powerful and lasts quite a long time with only 1% tyre wear per lap. Alpha Gully, however, currently still keeping tabs on Campbell Adams out in front as Campbell goes quite wide there, and a purple sector 1 from Alpha Gully. Now let's just see who's got that fastest lap at present. Fastest lap does indeed belong to Campbell Adams with a 59 currently. So we'd expect that to come down as we go throughout the next few laps, while there's still quite a lot of life left in these hard compound tyres. But of course the car does get lighter due to utilising fuel. The guys will obviously be getting to a point where they want to build some battery as well. So Campbell Adams on 56%, Alpha Gully 35 at present, Sir Joshi in the 60s, but obviously with that 3-second penalty. He is trying his best to get back into the DRS zone of Alpha Gully and Campbell Adams out in front so we can chase things down. There's then a 10-second gap actually between Sir Joshi's Campbell Adams and Alpha Gully exchange positions at the head of this field once more. G-Force Nick doing a fantastic job as Chandler's has indeed called it a day on those medium tyres, not having the impact that he would have liked, and he's going to come out way down the field now, probably in round about P11 or 12 perhaps.
Yeah, they were never going to
he'll be P. No, he'll come out in P11. So the Ferrari comes out just outside the points. Actually, do we have points a bit further down than 10th?
Yeah, 15th. Yeah, all the way down to 15th. Yeah, Tai is in the points at the moment on those mediums. And we knew that when Charles was on those medium tyres, he wasn't going to get them to the end, so he's gone on to the hards now. And there's obviously 21 laps out of 35 at the moment. There's a few penalties at the moment, so we've got 3 for Sir Joshi, 3 for Unfound, 3 for Asm, and we've got 3 for Chandler's and 3 for Tai at the moment. So anything can happen. Do we see a spicy situation getting us safety car? We'll have to wait and see. Thank you very much, Panic. Welcome, mate. Obviously, big fan of you, Andy. Panic. Boys, how are we doing? Andy the legend and SJ the spicy commentator. I am a spicy meatball.
You're hot, baby. You're hot.
Oh, Andy.
Hot to trot.
Oh, don't make me blush.
Absolutely.
Before we
Absolutely.
get off, wagging each other's tails there. We go back on to Select 1 and Alpha Gully leading the way at the moment. Campbell Adams in P2, Sir Joshi in P3. Then we've got GeForce Nick in P4, Micromash in P5, Benjamin Camp in P6 there. P7 is Naples, P8 is Josh Rios-Gulen. Then we've got P9 of AMS Unfound, doing a really, really good job on the new driver as well, so keep up the good work. Then you've got P10 and AET Adam. It looks like this is going to be, that was his last opportunity to get back into the lobby. Unfortunately, it's such a shame when he can't take control of the car. As we see some drama here. Naples is round. I think he's in the wall. And does that bring a bit of debris out? Yes, it does. But no safety car. Chandler's in P11. Keefe in P12. Sammy in P13. Aiden Risms in P14. Tai in P15. And 16 is F1 in Z. 41 people tuning in. Are we going to see a safety car? And we have got some subs. Just before I go back over to Andy. Panic doing to Dion, Summers, XR Last One, WI Saints, Franz Piper, and that is it. Appreciate the support. And yeah, big one tonight. No Alpine. So obviously the battle going on with the McLaren, this has definitely helped them in probably another week going forward with not fielding an Alpine on track. Andy.
Yeah, particularly damaging that for the Alpines with only one car tonight. And another thing that's damaging is that incident that Brian Naples had at the Car Killer corner at the end of Sector 1, start of Sector 2. Went off into the wall, does have to dive into the pit lane to get that front wing changed due to damage, and that's going to drop him all the way back, not quite to the rear of the field, but certainly a long way back down. Finns will be having blue flags waved at him, relentlessly currently sat at the rear of this field and stuck in a whole bunch of traffic. So right now, not even safety car. He's been lapped by the top 7 cars. So not even a safety car. Now really would say, I guess if a safety car comes, he's got to stay out. As Alpha Gully and Campbell Adams exchange positions yet again, this time on lap 24 of 35, down towards turn number 1. So Joshi still keeping himself within a reasonable distance here. The gap has increased from 1.4 up to 1.8, but keeping himself in the mix here, SJ. And do you know what I'm really pleased with? GeForce Nick in that Mercedes. Just having his own little race there up into P4, 11 seconds off the back of the Red Bull of Sir Joshi, but really good performance from him tonight.
Yeah, great job from Nick as well, and awesome, great news as well to get Azam back in the car as well, so that's really good. But yeah, no, he's doing a fantastic job as well, and obviously the viewers are loving it as well. 46 viewers, thank you very much. Let's get to the big 5-0. Come on, 4 to go, and let's get to the big 5-0 for these guys tonight. 24 laps out of 35, coming up to 25. We're gonna have 10 laps of racing left. Anything can change. We've seen, obviously, the McLarens working very well together. Obviously, Gully was using the DRS off the back of Campbell. Campbell was using the DRS off the back of him. And now he's actually lost the DRS. And Campbell Adams is now 1.2 out in front. And as Sir Joshi is trying to catch up to McLaren's, but they just seem too strong tonight. And unfortunately, Azam losing that connection as well. He's now going to have to put himself... try and catch up for the rest. And he's on a charge. He's got the fastest lap, as we've just going to look here. He's done a 1:15.8 on the hard compound tyres. Fastest guy on track at the moment. So we'll have to wait and see. Is he going to be able to catch Benjamin Cam and even take the points away from him? We'll have to wait and see. There is Micro Rash, and looks like Benjamin Cam going round the outside there, not getting the job done, but Micro Rash holding it together there. But a few penalties coming up left and right at the moment. But so far, it is Vantage McLaren yet again. Andy.
Yeah, Advantage McLaren yet again. Which, do you know what? I don't mind. We've got a second driver in this evening who's up challenging. He's managed to get himself back up into DRS range as Alpha Gully, but on board with Micromash right on that rear bumper, rear wing, sorry, of Badgerman Cam. Going to make himself, or give himself an opportunity here down that long home straight towards turn number 1. So Micromash and Chandler's obviously at Interlagos last week came together. Chandler's a little bit further on behind now, but Micromash is going to get into it with Badgerman with this DRS wing wide open as Badgerman swings over to the right-hand side to take that defensive line, try and break the toe, but can do nothing unless he gets a switch back down the hill towards turn number 3. No, Micromash with that double dose of DRS, which is not easy for me to say on a Saturday morning, does indeed make the move stick into P5 with Badgerman in hot pursuit in the Red Bull, SJ.
Yeah, doing a really, really good job, actually. Obviously, in that P6 position, doesn't want to get any penalties. Following very, very closely. There's Micromash, makes a big mistake. Badgerman Cameron, he goes right into the back of him. He really had to keep reaction speed there. He might be playing those machines a bit too... he might actually have been stuck playing those machines because that reaction speed was so fast. And he's got the job done there up into P5. 5.5 tenths in front of Micromash, but a big mistake there. But... ETA Azam, obviously having that incident earlier on, he is absolutely flying, and he is 4 tenths behind Micromash, and I think he still wants to try and put this car on the podium. Is he going to be able to catch Sir Joshi? That's going to be the question. 27 laps out of 35. Azam is right on the back of Micromash already. Look at that. And as you can see, there we go. Following the move, going to go over the right. Ooh, there's a little bit of movement there. And Azam goes right around the outside. A little bit of a contact between the Williams and the Aston Martin. Azam up in the P6 there, but that could have been very interesting there. Guys really need to see their awareness of each side of where the cars are. I don't understand how people go into a straight and still lock wheels together. I don't get it. But so far, so
no,
good.
It's one of the cardinal sins, mate. It's one of the cardinal sins. You know, incidents should never happen on straights. We expect them sometimes around some of the turns. You talked about whether or not ETA Azam could get himself up onto the podium. Well, he's got to find 16 seconds because both himself and Sir Joshi do have 3 seconds of penalties. So he's going to have to find a lot of time in this last couple of, this last stint with quite a few laps left to go. Just 8 laps left of this race as they come through the hairpin at sector 3. He's got a lot of time to find if he's going to get himself on the podium, my friend.
Yeah, definitely, but he's got some traffic though. He's got Benjamin Cam in front, and then Benjamin Cam's got obviously Micromash, and is that a Williams of F1NZ there in P16? Obviously being lapped, not the best of nights for him tonight, and then ETA has him up in the P5. Benjamin Cam then P6. Wog doing fantastic, really good drive for him in the Mercedes, and things have changed. Well, earlier on, we were talking about the Haas being in front of Mercedes, and it's now the Mercedes in front of the Haas. So how things have changed very, very quickly there after having those incidents earlier on. And Josh and Aiden have not been able to get really up through the pack, as Chandler's is right on the back of Josh, and AMS Unfound right on the back of Chandler's as well. So, nice little battle there for the 3 here going here between Merck, Ferrari and Haas. And then further down, you've also got Sammy and Keefe going at it. God, that was close. That was very close there between Keefe and Sammy. And you've also got Aiden now trying to make his way up. He's 14 seconds behind Unfound. Not gone to plan for the Haas guys tonight. But yeah, great job by Wog. And great job from Azam as well. And he's already 2.5 seconds behind GeForce already. So gaining on him at the rate of knots.
He's done a great job. He's done a great job to get past Badgerman, Micromash, and get himself 1.4 seconds up the road and only 2.5 seconds off the back of GeForce Nick. 12.7 seconds the gap between Nick and Sir Joshi. Sir Joshi has tumbled significantly now off the back of the 2 leading McLarens. That 16 seconds that he needed is now still 15 seconds, I believe. So that gap between ETA Azam and Sir Joshi for fighting for that podium position doesn't seem to have changed massively, down to 14 seconds actually as I talk about it. So yeah, we'll see over the last 6 or 7 laps what can happen. But Sir Joshy just has to keep his car pointing in the right direction and not make any mistakes. And probably requires the rest of the field to do that over the course of the next couple of laps, so that there isn't a safety car this evening. And as Tai Tai is the next of our intrepid explorers to pick up 3 seconds for his exploration outside of the white lines, not meeting the discretions of the race director, and therefore picking up that 3-second warning. What are we going to say then here? Is Alpha Gully at SJ going to challenge Campbell Adams for this race win? Or is he just going to... is it papaya rules, or is it race orders?
No, I think at the moment, as you can see, he's got 33% ERS. Campbell Adams has got 100%. And obviously leading the championship, I don't think that'll be allowed. It would be a nice little battle at the end there to see if they go up against each other on the last couple of laps. But you can see at the moment, obviously he's got 70% ERS, just trying to stay with him within that DRS of him. It looks like he's going to lose out there, and Campbell Adams is 94% on that battery. So no, I would say no is the answer, and I think Campbell Adams has got 5 laps to take the win, and maybe even start putting 2 hands on that trophy, because if F1NZ tonight has just not done the trick and scoring no points, that is going to put that gap to around about 145 points going with 5 races left of the season, and it's going to be really, really tough to hear, so I'm going to have to wait and see what happens there. But apparently we're going to hear some stories in the interviews tonight, so it'll be interesting to hear. But so Josh, you're doing a great job, and I think it's going to finish this way at the moment. The question is ETA Azam, he has got past G-Force Think, is he going to be able to make 3 seconds in 4 laps? That's going to be the question. But he's done a great recovery drive, and I think he'll be kicking himself after getting that 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, did he picked the time penalty up obviously before the disconnect, so he's had 2 little bits of bad luck this evening in terms of track limits, and then, of course, the disconnect, which cost him a lot of time in the probably 4 or 5 laps that he wasn't behind the wheel. But still a great driver, really good addition to the Rush Racing League Div 1. Demonstrated he's got some fantastic pace in terms of qualification and, of course, race pace as well before he had that disconnect, SJ. We've got yellow flag in Sector 1. It's an Aston Martin. Looks like it could be... Tai Tai, yes. Tai Tai having himself a moment coming through turn number 4. But yeah, all to play for in this championship still, I believe. As we've got now, looks like Sammy's gone off at the chicane. Is Sammy beached? He doesn't appear to be moving. He's got himself moving again now, but Sammy goes off at the chicane. Still all to play for, I think. I know the Constructors is decided, but because here at Rush Racing League, we've also got the addition of 2 sprints. 2 sprint races, so an extra 16 points up for grabs there, and of course the mystery around, nobody knows what that's going to look like. That could be anything. So still up for grabs, this title. Obviously Campbell will place one hand firmly on the trophy with 6 rounds left to go, but yeah, no reason for people not to tune in, because it's never boring here at Rush Racing League, SJ.
Appreciate that, Andy. No, I do appreciate that. That means a lot. And no, it's been a great season so far. Campbell Adams is obviously... I'm going to give you a little bit of a history about Campbell Adams. Obviously, last year, known as PCHR, finished P11, right? P11 last year, right? The guy has improved leaps and bounds. Like, absolutely outrageous. He's doing very, very well in PSGL. He's very unlucky at the moment. It's just fantastic, and it's great to have people to go up against him, and he loves the challenges. And when you've got someone that good and they beat you, you've got to put your hand up and say, I've been beaten fair and square, you know. And we know that Finn's is got some serious pace, and he's been pushing and pushing and pushing, but we never know. He could actually completely change and transform in the next 5 or 6 races. Is that a possibility? Yes. Is it going to happen? Maybe. We don't know. We just don't know. Things are happening. You know, you've got McLaren. They're doing a great job. Obviously, this is great for them tonight. They've got the double of obviously P1 and P2 at the moment for the for the overalls as well. Big points for them. Obviously, Williams going to get big points in P4 as well, which is a great job. He's actually made 3 seconds already on Wogboy, so he is going to stay P4. So that is a fantastic recovery drive from ETA after losing connection and everything. So top job there. Alpine only having 1 car tonight with Sammy in P14, and obviously the other Williams driver finishing P16 currently as it stands. So yeah, there's a few ifs and buts and that, but then you've got the rest of the divisions. You know, it's all right setting the setting the pedigree here in Division 1, but you've got to do the same in the other divisions. You know, it's great getting top points, but say for instance you DNF in 2 and 3 and 4, that means nothing. You know, so you've got to
exactly.
You've got to keep that momentum up, and that is what McLaren have been doing. We've been very strong in Div 1. They've been very strong in Div 2, and they've been strong in some areas in 3 and 3, 4, and 5. So yeah, I still think the overalls is not over. You can't say anything. You seriously can't say anything. So yeah, going to be really interesting to see as we do have an onboard for Campbell Adams on the last lap. So I'll get you to take that away, Andy, if you do so. But yeah, I think it's been a great season so far, and Campbell Adams has just been faultless, unfortunately. So
yeah, he really has. Okay, then, so on board with Campbell Adams on this, the final lap of the Hungarian Grand Prix Rush Racing League Division 1. Down towards turn 1 he goes. It's been a little bit of a procession, certainly for the last few laps, but down the hill then through the almost non-existent turn 2, towards turn 3 then, this long left-hander where you do have to manage that throttle, but he manages it well, as he has done for the prior 34 laps. Then back up the hill towards the car killer. Get this wrong and you are in the wall, but we've only seen 1 car in the wall. That has to be a new record for a Grand Prix around Hungary. Into the chicane he goes for the final time, then actually gets it a little bit wrong, goes too deep into the first part, but navigates his way through pretty well round the Weavy S's here at Hungary before he attacks turn number 11 with some full throttle, utilising the full curb on that exit, down into turn 12, right in the curb on the outside, clipping the inside beautifully to give him that extra turn in, and then here we go into the hairpin. For the final time, comes our championship leader. It's Campbell Adams, who will cross the line and win this Hungarian Grand Prix, closely followed by his teammate Alpha Gully. Alpha Gully claims P2 as well. And then we've got Sir Joshi. Fantastic drive from Sir Joshi. Will retain his position on the podium in P3. Wonderful job. 24-lap old tyres. ETA Azam getting all out of shape for some inexplicable reason round that final turn to claim P4. Good recovery drive from him as well. And then GeForce Nick, fantastic drive from the Mercedes in terms of some points for that overall standings up into P5, SJ.
Yeah, no, great race there for a few of the guys at the end, or very close with a few of them as well. And Bushman Cam getting that 3-second F1NZ will spoil the party though. But we got a nice little battle here between Keefe and Aiden going into the last couple of the corners. Is Keefe going to be able to keep on hold of it, or is Aiden going to be able to take it? Let's have a look here. It's close, but it looks like Keefe is going to hold on there. Nice little battle there for the Haas and the Kick Sauber there. And there we go. As we've got Tai going across the line, Napple's going across the line, and Finns will take the fastest lap as well. So he will spoil a little bit of a party and take away the fastest lap. But no, great race there. Just going to get these guys in for an interview. And P3, Sir Joshi, join the comms box, please. Just get these guys in. But
according to Dante, we might have ourselves a provisional world champion as well. 141 point gap between them. It depends, I guess, if anybody jumped up in the standings. No, because it was Viper way further back. 641. It might be done and dusted, SJ.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. We'll work it out. We won't work it out tonight, unfortunately. We'll work it out, obviously, next week. But no, an absolutely fantastic night ahead for the McLaren there in P1 and P2. And then, obviously, P3 again. Yoshi showing some serious pace in that Red Bull since he's got that full-time seat. I think I'll take the raps for that because I told him to grab that full-time seat. So, yeah, that might be because he's starting winning all the time. But they are your top three fastest laps. F1 NZ there, P16. Fortunately, won't get that fastest point because it only goes to P15, so it does take it away from McLaren getting double points, even more points than they probably should have received. But yeah, and also the Twitch prediction as well. Will we see a safety car? Well, I'd say some. We won't see a safety car because none of them turned up. So whoever got the prediction, congratulations, which will come up very, very shortly. Amazing race, everyone. Well done, McLaren Drive, boys. There you go. A little bit of support in the chat, in the comments there as well. 12.3 thousand goes to Mr. Dante. So congratulations. Remember, do not gamble. We do not advertise gambling. Bit of fun, as I always say. Right, Andy, I'll let you take away going into P3. So first up, Mr. Sir Joshi, over to you.
Yes, Sir Joshy, P3, third step on the podium in the Red Bull, picking up 3 seconds of penalties, but maintaining his pace in the second half of that race. Joshy, talk to us about how that race went for you and how you managed to, after what wasn't the best start, drag yourself back up onto the podium.
Yeah, for sure. That was a horrendous start. Got passed by Aiden turn one, and then I had a battle with Finns, which was not ideal, and ended up dropping me down to P6. And then on the straight of lap two, Codemasters or EA, I guess, decided to lag my car back like 2 seconds. So I went behind one of the Mercedes, I forgot his name, GeForce Nick. So I was like P7 after P2, or maybe after lap two, sorry. So yeah, I had to fight back past GeForce, and then yeah, the mediums were like dying for me, lap 10 or 11. So made the lucky call to pit lap 11 and managed to get a great undercut on the drivers around. And past that, just when Campbell came out the pits, I was right behind him. Yeah, it was great because obviously he's the best driver, so I could just get his DRS for like 2 or 3 laps and pull away from the rest of the pack. And then it was pretty much a lone race from there. But yeah, the undercut just really made my race and allowed me to come back.
Yeah, it did look like a particularly lonely last probably 20 laps of that race for you. But yeah,
Yes.
the undercut, there was talk in the chat earlier on about the medium tyres going 24 to 27 laps. And when we saw a flurry of activity in the pit lane, it seemed as though the drivers had taken the decision to move on to that hard tyre. But the time difference, the lap time difference between the mediums and the hards when people came out on the hards looked incredible. How powerful was that overcut? How much time did you, sorry, undercut? How much time do you think you made up?
Yeah, it was actually insane. Well, to be honest, I don't know how whoever you said thought the mediums could go 20 laps because mine were completely fried. I was almost sliding every corner on the lap I came in, but I have bad time management. But yeah, anyway, I think I made somehow like 4 seconds on tie in one lap. I don't know if they were battling or if something had happened, but or if the hards were just that much quicker. But yeah, so that's how much the fresh hards helped, I guess, against those mediums.
Yeah, I think probably a combination of two. Tai was definitely getting into it with various different drivers over the course of the race this evening. But yeah, the tyres looked pretty insane between 1.5 and 2 seconds in terms of delta changes per lap, with somebody not pitting and somebody having pitted the previous lap. So yeah, really good race from you tonight, mate. We head off to Montreal next week for a sprint race. How are you fancying the trip around the Gilles Villeneuve circuit?
I think it'll be pretty good. I like Montreal as a track. I think there's good overtaking opportunities, of course, down the back straight, and yeah, I think it'll be good. I hope to have some good pace and try to get back on the podium, hopefully in a less convoluted manner. But yeah.
Yeah, well done tonight, my friend. I'll hand you over to SJ.
Yeah, Sir Joshy, mate. Again, another great performance, mate. I think. Well, I'm just going to just double check, mate, on that. I think that's like 3P3s in 3 weeks. Is that correct? Let me have a look. Let me don't shoot.
Maybe not an Imola,
Let me
but
don't. Let me just don't shoot your own horn there at the moment. Let me just have a quick look. Campbell and Gay can just wait for the time being. They've got their part of fame in a second. So obviously we've got Imola P4, Portimao P3,
yeah,
Zandvoort. Yes.
I did
No.
not race.
Okay.
So
All right.
yeah,
No, third, second one, second one. But you've been on fire,
yeah.
mate. You've been on fire. You've just been consistent. Not getting too many penalties as well. Obviously, it was probably a little bit of a lonely race out there for you tonight. But what was the aim for tonight? Obviously, you may have seen the grid and thought that there was obviously some new names, and obviously you saw very early on it was pretty quick there. But what was the plan? Did you feel that you could get up there tonight with the pace that you had in qualifying?
Uh, yeah, for sure. I tried to. Well, the plan was to have a good start and then try to stick within the DRS of the pack and then try to make moves at the end. But obviously, it turned out the opposite happening. But yeah, nevertheless, I think there were some really good new drivers like Azim, I think, in the Williams. I think he had the pace. I don't know what happened to him, unfortunately. I think he left and rejoined. But anyway, yeah, he was really fast, and obviously Alpha. Gully or whatever. Sorry if I butchered that, but yeah, they were both insanely fast, and yeah, the plan was to get a good start. It didn't happen, but as I said before, yeah, the undercut just reverted the plan and ended up working out in the end anyway.
Well, honestly, great job. And yeah, unfortunately, I don't really have a lot to say in that. As you can tell, I'm
All good.
not too good, not very well. But going over to obviously next week, sprint weekend, Canada. How are you feeling around the lovely Wall of Champions?
uh, well, I'd obviously hope not to hit it, or unless maybe I do, because then I might become a champion one day. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, as I said before, I'm kind of looking forward to Canada and hope to keep up the pace. And yeah, I'm excited.
I think the most annoying thing is that drivers get is then when they get into these opportunities and they don't, and they wish that they'd done the whole season. Is that something you're
Mhm.
looking into for season 8, getting into a full time season and taking it all the way?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know when that next season starts, but when it does start, I'll be sure to hopefully race from the beginning and see where I end up in the standings after every race is completed instead of joining halfway. And yeah, it should be a good run for the next season.
No, well, it's been a great time since you've been in that seat as well. And Red Bull obviously really getting some points. What's the plan at the moment in the Red Bull garage? Obviously, you're not really fighting for championships at the moment. What's the plan? Just trying to get as high up as you can in the overalls. Excuse me, racking up as many points as you can in each division. Like, what's the morale like at the moment in Red Bull?
Yeah, I think you pretty much nailed the spot. I'm just trying to maximize each weekend for each tier and just obviously kind of in the midfield in Div 1, but obviously overall we need some work to do. But yeah, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. We just need to try to maximize each performance, try to get as much points as possible, even though we're not fighting exactly for the constructors. It's always good to maintain points and try to finish as high up as possible at the end of the day.
Well, top job. Look forward to seeing you for round 17 at Canada.
All right, thank you.
See you, mate. Right, back to you, Andy, for Gully.
Yes, Alpha Gully, welcome in. Congratulations on a fantastic drive. And was this your first drive here at Rush Racing League?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, my friend. Was this your
Nice,
first
nice.
drive with us here at Rush Racing League?
Yeah, it was the first time I was racing in this league. Yeah, correct.
Fantastic. And what a way to introduce yourself to the viewers in terms of that fantastic performance you've thrown down tonight, making it a 1-2 for the McLarens. Just talk us through your race and your qualification, Alpha. How did you get through quali and how did you feel in the race?
So quali was just about nailing one lap. So there was nothing special about it, but in the race, I forgot to change the tire pressure from quali, so I was on minimum pressure. So I expected that I'm gonna be really struggling during the whole race, but fortunately, my mate helped me to make it through the race. So we help each other with the ERS, with the fuel, and we made enough big gap to guy behind. So then we just chilling till the end of the race. So
Yeah.
no,
Yeah, nicely done. Nicely done. And in terms of the communication between yourself and Campbell, were you in a chat together? Were you being engineered? How did it work for us today?
yeah, we were on Discord calling during the race, so we let each other know what to do, how to position the car, and stuff like that. So it was nicely done.
Nice, well done. And I guess just to get a little bit of background information, obviously you're new here. Where else do you race in terms of what other leagues have you raced in? The name rings a bell. I'm sure I must have commentated on you in the past.
So I got joined during U while I was racing in ERS Racing League. So that's why I got in here, and otherwise I'm racing in PSGL and WR.
Yeah, I may well have commentated on a race of yours in WOR in the past.
Yeah.
But yeah, congratulations on your second position this evening. Heading off to Montreal circuit, Gilles Villeneuve circuit next week. What's your thoughts around that? And are you hoping to get another seat? Are you available?
I think I will be available for sure, and I think we can score same points with Campbell because we have race in PSGL tomorrow, so or on Monday, so I think if I get enough practice, we can do the same in Montreal as well.
Lovely stuff, mate. Well, congratulations. I'll hand you over to SJ to see if his voice has recovered.
Yeah, no, it has. Alpha Gully, mate, how you going? Great night for you, mate. Obviously, taking B2, obviously double points there for McLaren tonight on the podium as well. So great start. What was the plan? I don't know if you were in comms with Campbell or if you were in comms with someone else, but what was the plan in quali tonight?
Like to be as fast as possible, starting front row, which we succeeded. Mainly the problem was the race because with those minimum pressure I struggled in sector 2 when there are all the turns, so I needed like to cool down the tires on the straight and just surviving sector 2. So the biggest issue was the race and we succeeded pretty nice.
Well, great start. Honestly, a great start getting onto the podium as well. So, obviously, worked quite well there with Campbell. We see that using that DRS to obviously pull away as well, which was good, and obviously pulled that gap. And I didn't think anyone else was behind you. Obviously, Josh was a little bit too far behind, so it was a pretty easy night for the McLarens at the front there.
Yeah, like when we needed, we switched our positions. So we were like okay with the ERS level, with the fuel level. And at the end, when I struggled the most, Campbell just fly away. So secure the P1 if any safety car came out. So well done from him.
Yep. Well, honestly, great job, mate. And yeah, look forward to seeing where you are next time and what car that will be, and if we see you return in Canada.
I don't know.
We'll have to wait and see.
It will
It could
be
be a
in
surprise.
Starbucks.
Could be a surprise, couldn't it?
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see. But no, congratulations on the P2, mate, and welcome to the Rush family. And look forward to seeing you again on track.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers, mate.
Take care.
Right, back over to you, Andy, for the winner.
The race winner for what feels like the 437th time here in season 7. We're over to Campbell Adams. Campbell, congratulations on yet another stellar performance, dominating from the front alongside your teammate, Alpha. Talk us through your qualification lap first. Seemed like a particularly special one, but not as quick as you can go, I think.
Yeah, you're right. My lap, actually, the first half of it was actually pretty good, but the last half I drove, I don't know, like I was driving with my eyes closed almost. I was about 3/10 up, and then went only to about 1.5 tenths. So I lost a lot of time on my quickest lap, but it secured pole was enough. So can't complain too much.
Yeah, really good lap in terms of being at the front, which is, of course, where you're used to being this season. You did what you need to do in the qualification session. And then in the race, it looked like myself and SJ were commenting that it looked like there's going to be a challenge thrown down to you by the Williams of ETA Azam. And, of course, your new teammate for today, which was Alpha Gully. How did it feel after, obviously, F1NZ had some unfortunate incidents and dropped all the way back? How did it feel to have new people challenging you?
Yeah, of course. It's good to have some challenges up there. No one. I mean, obviously, you like winning by distance, but also you also like having a battle doing it. So it was good fun. Honestly, it was a lot harder for me than I probably should have done it because I actually started on a lot less fuel than I should have. So during that basically whole first stint, I just dropped behind Azam to save some fuel. Me and Gully, Gully was in the DRS the whole time, so he would have been pretty good with the fuel. But with me, as I was obviously leading at the start, I just noticed that I was burning way too much fuel, so had to drop back a little bit and coast a little bit just so I made sure I got home to the end. And once I did that, I just started working with Gully, obviously with what happened to Azam with his disconnect, which is really unfortunate. But also before that, he got a penalty. So me and Gully were pretty confident when we pitted for those hards that we would be able to secure that one too.
Yeah, and you did go a little bit further on the medium tire than a couple of other guys. A couple of other guys had chosen to come in around about between laps 10 and 12. You came in lap 13 or 14, I believe, wasn't it? Maybe a little bit later than that even.
I think it was 15.
15, yeah. So yeah, you'd gone a little bit further on the medium tire. The undercut on the hard tire was absolutely incredible. So it demonstrates just how much of a lead that you guys had managed to pull together to the cars in that chasing pack, because even with the undercut, Sir Joshy came out just behind you, of course, and we heard from him earlier about how he'd utilized the DRS to get away from the chasing pack. So funny track this in terms of undercut tire strategy, but you mentioned there about what did you mention there about? You've just said something. I was going to ask you a question about it.
Fuel.
Fuel, thank you very much. Yeah, so fuel. So how much fuel did you have in for the start of the race? Did you under fuel?
No, I had 0.7 up,
Yeah.
and within 6 laps, I had gone down to 0.3. So as soon
Was
as
that
I
because
noticed, sorry,
was that because you thought there might have been safety cars today?
no, I hadn't done any practice for this race. Jumped in on a little bit on the unprepared side, and I thought, yeah, 0.7 will do it. We'll be fine. And then as soon as I did the first 6 laps, I was like, okay, this isn't good. So I was also worried that even if I was behind him, I wouldn't be able to save fuel. But as soon as I was behind him, I was saving. I wasn't saving, but I was just keeping it the same. So when that happened, I was thankful. But yeah, it was too low. If I had it again, I'd probably go 1 and a bit laps. But
Yeah,
That's hindsight.
Yeah. Well, I have to say that that's possibly quite one of the most demoralising comments anybody might have made in here, that you've not done any practice and still romped away with the win. I'm sure there are some gentlemen that may well have spent the last 6 days sat in front of their monitors practicing Hungary. And to hear you didn't do any practice it's just mind-blowing to me, for somebody who has to practice for every single race, no matter where it is. But yeah, congratulations, mate. I'll hand you over to SG. I'm sure he's got a plethora of questions for you. But well done, congratulations, mate, on another win.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Campbell, mate, what a night again. Obviously, no lefty tonight, and obviously, you two have been on fire lately. Obviously, a few technical, I think, issues with his wheel. Did you feel a little bit worried, obviously, who was going to be your teammate tonight? A little bit?
Honestly, I kind of forgot about the whole situation with Lefty. I was out all day, and when I got home, I was like, "Oh no!" So, but I checked in. I looked at the check-in and saw that we had one, and that we had Dante on standby anyway. So once I saw that, I was, I was pretty relaxed. Not, I was never really stressed out at all, but like, just good knowing that you had a teammate. I'd never heard of Gully before, but obviously he's very quick, which is good.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. It was just trying to bring quick people in, freshen up a little bit. Obviously, grid. Obviously tonight, obviously not as many people that we as we would like. Obviously, we want a lot more. We want to try and fill that grid out, but obviously no Viper tonight with a race ban, and unfortunately, no one filling the other Alpine, and obviously the other RB as well. But Azam obviously was the one that you had to watch out for tonight. Obviously, going into the first 5 laps, how did it feel? As what we could see that he had some serious pace in some of those corners and was gaining on you at the rate of knots. Until he then started to make the overtake, and until you started to then switch it around and change positions. How did the first 7 laps go for you?
Well, yeah, he was very quick, but I noticed that he was making a fair few mistakes. And so first 6 laps, I wasn't pushing, obviously, because the first 15 laps of the race is it's where you manage the whole race, right? Because don't want to get any warnings. Obviously, that's the main priority, especially here. It's so easy to get warnings. So as soon as you box for the new tires, and you really start pushing. But that's my philosophy, is just relax on the first stint and then push. But yeah, the first 6 laps he was very quick, keeping me honest. Couldn't make any mistakes. If I did, he'd be past me. So yeah, well done to him. And obviously, he didn't quite pass me. I let him go because saw the fuel, and I was like, yeah, gotta let him go. So just wanted to manage it a little bit. Probably made it a little bit harder for myself than I needed it to be. But no, he was very quick. I'm sure he would have passed me anyway if I didn't let him go.
Yeah, it's obviously one of those tracks as well where you don't really get many of those opportunities to overtake. Obviously, we spoke a lot about Hungary leading up to this weekend. It was all about qualifying. Did you feel that was all about qualifying going into tonight?
Oh yeah. If you're just like, you got to be at least in the top 5 here. You can still win from top 5. You'd be very lucky to win from any further down. But yeah, qualifying is so crucial. It's like Monaco. If you qualify down, it's almost race over in terms of expecting a podium. But you never know, anything happens. So a lot can happen in a race. But as you saw, I think the top 3 that finished with, oh no, Joshy made it onto the podium, but yeah, it was just so super hard for anyone to pass, especially with just that 2 DRS zone. But the second one isn't really a overtaking spot anyway.
Well, Campbell, mate, you just never seem to disappoint. Obviously, your rival tonight did really struggle, and obviously, I don't think got any points. So obviously, that takes you from obviously listening to one of your teammates, maybe even 2 hands on the trophy going into Canada. How do you feel about that? Obviously, the constructors, McLaren, look like they've sealed that. They sealed that last week, taking that within 5 races, 6 races left, and they could be taking the championship within 5 races to go.
Yeah, it's obviously it's been a very, very good season. Not a perfect one, but no, one I can't complain too much about, and having the backing of a lot of people has really helped me push a lot harder, and just really enjoying it.
Well, you've got Canada up next. Are you going to take your foot off the gas? Are you going to be doing no, as Andy will probably say, do no practice there, or is that one? Are you looking forward to that one?
Well, I just had PSGL there, so I'm a bit warmed up to that track. So I probably won't do any practice beforehand, just because I've kind of had the practice 2 weeks before, so that'll be my practice. Just want to kind of if this championship's almost done, still very much focus on these next coming races, but also try and put more focus towards other leagues that I'm not doing quite so well at.
No, that's fair enough. No, I appreciate it. And obviously, congratulations again tonight. You may have known as well that Alpine only filled 1 car. They are the ones that are battling you for the overall. So that's some more strengths for McLaren going forward. Obviously, getting a P1 and a P2, and obviously them not filling obviously that second car. So yeah, advantage McLaren going into Canada for the sprint weekend, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, P1, P2 isn't a much better way to start, and then plus obviously only 1 Williams and 1 Alpine finishing in the points just tops it off even more. So yeah, couldn't ask for much better.
Yep, and I think before we let you go, I just want to look at something. I think that is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is your 10th win this season. How do you feel about
that? Is it 10?
Yeah, number 10. Or it might be number, hang on. So
I think it's 11.
11. My apologies.
Wow.
I wasn't counting. Tonight, but obviously anything could happen. There were steward reports, but I don't think you got involved in any incidents, unless there was something secret that you got a 25-second penalty.
Don't believe so. Don't believe I did anything.
11 wins, mate, and literally 5 races to go. You've got to be stoked with that.
Oh yeah, very happy. It's very encouraging for me because just trying to build, and this game has some reason clicked with me. I definitely didn't expect to be winning as many races as I am. That's definitely a surprise, but it's a good surprise, that's for sure.
Well, I reckon half of Division 1 will probably want you gone. Obviously, us as a league and a family, we don't want you to. We want you to continue. But no, congratulations, mate. Another faultless, obviously, drive tonight. You did have a little bit of pressure, but unfortunately that disappeared with, obviously, the connection and the 3 seconds. And, yeah, I don't think you ever thought that your reserve was going to put up on P2 as well. So, all in all, a great night for McLaren and a great night for you. And I look forward to seeing what you can do next week in Canada.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
No worries. Take care. All right, Andy. Sorry of that, mate. That was a great night. No safety cars, no really big incidents, no really big accidents. Few re-entries and stuff that will be looked at by the onboard stewards. But all in all, a very, very good night.
Yeah, I think it's a real quiet weekend. Weekend. I think it's a real quiet week for the stewards of Div 1. Let's hope that the other guys in the other divisions can follow suit later on throughout the course of the week. I do like Hungary. It does give some good racing. It does challenge the drivers to be more patient and composed throughout Sector 2 and 3, of course. As we've seen tonight, the Div 1 guys demonstrating how to do things. Yeah, 1 or 2 incidents, but I say it every week and I'll say it again this week. It's sim racing. And you will get incidents no matter what level you're racing at. Just good to see that we didn't get any safety cars. The weather stayed fair, so all the other tiers, all the other divisions you can hold your breath a little bit longer, because no rain in one means there might be rain in the next one upcoming tomorrow. But yeah, great stuff, mate. Really good race. Fantastic racing yet again from Campbell Adams. 2 really good additions in terms of Alpha Gully and ETA Azam to the grid. Only thing I'd suggest is maybe a full grid next week. But other than that, really good night.
Yeah, no, appreciate it. No, it was a great night, obviously for the McLaren and obviously Campbell Adams, and yeah, great to see some newcomers put their foot on the grid as well, which is really good. It's nice to see that variety as well. And obviously another stellar performance from Sir Josh in the Red Bull as well. So, leading up to Canada, obviously next week for these guys, but obviously there's more action tomorrow night with Division 2 and Division 4. First up, obviously, is Division 4. That will be at 5:30 p.m. AEDT, and then after that, we will then have Division 2, and they will be going lights out at 7:30 p.m. AEDT. But big up to Sphinx for now for the follow. Really appreciate that. Panic for the subs as well. Or customer relations for the bits as well. Really appreciate it. 17 months subscription there for customer relations as well. Congratulations there. Hype Train earlier on. We appreciate that. Top Sunu L430. Thank you very much for the follow. Also for the Hype Train as well. And also Marzi for the 5 gifts as well. And then we also had Salty69420 for a follow 2 days ago, and also Baskers Al Jocks and SJ Gunner 14, Aleph Aditya, Virtusu, and I'm sorry, I was all around about 3 days ago. So I really appreciate the support, continuing support. And support tonight as well. Be up to our sponsors as well, Pagni and Simlab. Thank you very much for the support. Remember, if you've got any content, you've got anything you want to put on the socials, feel free to put it on Instagram or TikTok, and please hashtag or share Rush Racing League. We will be happy to share your content. And feel free, if you want to get on board all of our socials as well, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, and obviously the biggest one is Discord. Feel free as well, if you want to go up against this man that apparently cannot be beaten at the moment, Campbell Adams, then feel free to jump on board the Discord and get ready. Still time to jump on board and do a reserve race whenever you need to. There's obviously 5 races and 5 races coming up, which are going to be very juicy. Starting off obviously next week with the sprint weekend at the lovely Villeneuve Circuit of Canada, which can be a very interesting one for track limits there as well, especially in turn 1 and turn 2, and also going across the last double chicane there in sector 3, going over to the near Wall of Champions, which we've seen incidents happen there. It is the biggest highlight of the last corner of the Canadian circuit. Will we see anyone push into the wall in the Wall of Champions? We'll have to wait and see. But until then, thank you very much. Andy, as always, thank you very much for jumping in the comments box and tuning in with me tonight.
Always a pleasure, my friend. Well done, everybody. Good work. Good luck to everybody in Div 2, 3 and 4.
Yes.
And 5.
Yeah, I'm fine. Congratulations as well to obviously the podium winners tonight. Cameron Adams, big congratulations to him. And obviously P2 to Alpha Gully tonight, obviously reserving for McLaren, jumping in the limelight of that papaya orange machine at the moment, which is absolutely flying in Rush Racing League and also in real life in the real Formula 1 as well against Max Verstappen with Lando and Piastri, and also Sir Joshi in the Red Bull. So, we'll have to wait and see what happens next week. But I'll leave you a quote, as always, before I go. Has Campbell Adams put 2 hands on the trophy? We'll have to wait and see, as our maths teacher might tell us in Canada. Thanks for tuning in. Good night.